Am I making sound now? Anyways, ow. Anyways, so I normally do audios and not video. I'm not that great at podcasting just yet. However, I want to get better. I also really need a partner. So before I start diving into today's episode, I would enjoy it if if you're interested, if you like to focus on mental health and mental illnesses and destigmatizing the need for mental health, even if you don't have a mental illness, I would love to work with you. Anyways, so like I said, this is like my fourth time recording this today, and I am just not feeling it. But I really need to make this episode because it's past due. And why am I doing it on my personal YouTube? That is an excellent question. No, I know nobody asked that question. I asked myself that question. So that's what we're doing. We are doing this. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like trying to check on things. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not very good at this thing. I know the streaming is not gonna go well. Don't know how to fix that. Oh, actually, I probably do have a good idea of how to fix that. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I should probably not make that so high. I'm gonna apologize for the possible horrible. Oh my god. There we go. Let's see. Let's see if YouTube's working better. No, still not. That's okay. I really don't care. So this is what we're gonna do. Anyways. This is the third episode of Eradication Talk. I'm not doing it on the Eradication Talk YouTube page for today just because apparently you have to wait 24 hours to do a live for them. For that. So I've already done lives on this profile, which is why I'm recording this on this profile because it's my YouTube, so I can do whatever I want. Anyways. So this is the third episode. If you want to see the other two episodes, you can go to the Eradication Talk YouTube page. They're on there. You could also go to eradicationwellness.com. And there's a blog that has the first two podcasts on it. So, yeah, you can do that. So mindsets. Mindsets are incredibly important, right? I don't know if anybody knows what like mindsets are and how important they are, but I could definitely tell you that they're important. I've been through it myself. I've lived in a negative mindset for the majority of my life up until about 3 to 4 years ago, and my whole entire life turned around once I changed my mindset. Once I actually changed my mindset, things just got better. So I can definitely share that that's something pretty important. So it's basically your frame of mind. You think of a picture with a picture frame, and you think about the frame that's around the picture, and that's the lens that you see the world through. It's a collection of beliefs and ideas and opinions that you hold for yourself and the world. So basically, whatever you think, whatever you see, however you see things, then that's how it's going to be until you change it. So if you feel like things are always bad happening to you, then, maybe you should think about how you're thinking. That's a horrible way of putting that. Maybe you should think about your mindset. How if you're thinking in a negative place, you're not going to get anywhere. There's a difference between being realistic and being optimistic and being negative and pessimistic. Like you can be optimistic and still be a realist. You just got to think about it in better terms. Think about the solutions to the problems rather than just dwelling on the problems. But overall, mindset can either help you or harm you. You can either have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is basically a belief that our qualities are fixed traits that cannot be changed. People who believe like this, they believe that talent alone leads to success and nothing more. They believe that you're born with whatever talent you have, and you can't grow from it. You can't push past it. You can't do anything with it other than what you've already done with it. And then you have a growth mindset, which is basically you're thinking that our intelligence can grow with time or experience, and it helps us reach our full potential. When you think in a growth mindset, then you're constantly believing that there's endless possibilities. There's always a solution to a problem. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. You got to put in that time and effort for it to happen. There are more mindsets that also focus on either the more positive or the more negative sides. And so we're going to dive into some of those examples right now. You have the right and wrong mindset versus the open-minded mindset. There's the people that believe that, okay, that's right, that's wrong, this is right, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's right. Okay, but then, you have, the open-minded mindset where you can believe that... I lose my train of thought. Your open-minded mindset, which is exactly what happens to me. Just open my mind and then I lose my train of thought. I'm just kidding. But open-minded mindset, whenever you can think of the multiple possibilities, when you can put yourself in a different perspective and see it through somebody else's eyes and their situations and notice that it's not black or white. It's not wrong or right. There's always going to be gray area, no matter what. You're not going to be able to make it any other way. Everything is situational. To me, everything is situational. I'm going to get on a soapbox, so I'm not going to go any further than that. We also have the victim mindset versus the accountable mindset. And I see this one a lot. When you're with your victim mindset, you blame other people for your mistakes. You constantly believe okay, well, if this person didn't do this, then this wouldn't have happened to me. And then you have the people who actually hold themselves accountable, their actions accountable, and they're like, okay, well, I understand that because I did this happened. Now I know I shouldn't do that. We have the comparing to others mindset versus being your own standard mindset. I know I struggle with this one constantly myself. I constantly compare myself to other people whenever I definitely shouldn't. I don't do it constantly, but I have my moments, my insecure moments, where I end up comparing myself to certain people, and I feel like I'm not good enough, or that I should be further along in life than I am. But then I'm reminded that, of what I've been through and how far I've come and all of the changes that I've made in my life and the positivity and everything. I'm reminded I'm my own standard. I did things my way because they worked for me. I learned, I made my mistakes and I learned from my mistakes, and, now I know what not to do. So now then we also have the saying no versus the saying yes. Being a yes man is going to open up so many opportunities. It's okay to say no sometimes, it's part of setting boundaries, but, you can't say no just due to fear of failing. You have to actually say yes and actually feel it and experience it. And even if you fail, then, you know that you can pick yourself up and take it in a different direction, but even better. You have your reactive versus your proactive. You have your people who are going to react spot on no matter what, without actually thinking about it. And then you're going to have the people who actually are proactive and actually think 3 to 4 steps ahead before they react. Then we have the fearful versus the fearless. You have the people who are too scared to do anything because of failing, so they don't do anything. They're scared. And then you have the people who are fearless, who, regardless of what could happen, they know that they can just pick themselves up and do it again, learning from their mistakes and doing it better the next time. And then finally, and I'm sure that there's more examples, but this is the last one that I have, we have your avoidance versus your facing reality. You have the people who are constantly avoiding the things that they need to do, thinking that they're going to be able to grow, but they're not. And then you have the people who actually face reality and fix their problems. They find solutions to their problems and move forward. So there's so many different types of mindsets or modes of thinking that can affect your growth in life and in your happiness. I mean, you can't be happy until you actually change your mindset into something that is going to allow you to grow as a person. So, how do you change your mindset? How do we do that? Give me a second. Allergies. I live in Oklahoma. Okay. So how do we change mindset? Well, working on self-awareness, become more aware of your emotions, learning to know what you're feeling. Actually take the time to sit down and digest the emotions that you're processing, that you're feeling. Are they negative? Are they positive? Are they half and half? Why are you feeling them? How are you handling them? How are you coping with them? What are you doing with them? It's important that you actually sit down and digest what you're feeling. So that way you can understand, okay, I've noticed that I've been more negative with myself. I need to change that. I need to start being positive and thinking in a more positive note. Avoid thinking in binary terms. You have to stop thinking that everything's black and white, everything's wrong or right. There's always going to be gray area. There's always going to be in between. You have to dissociate yourself from the situations and think about it in other perspectives and the reasons why certain things happen. In terms of judging other people for the situations that they live in, it's totally unfair to do that because there's not any wrong or right in that situation. If they're happy and they're not hurting anybody and they're doing their best, then who are you to say that that's right or wrong? Reflect on what you truly believe. Think about everything that you learned from your elders as a child, and if you actually believe that, or if you've ever doubted it, think about it. If you've even had the smallest inklings of doubt about things that you were taught as a child, then that is probably a good indicator that you should stop and actually think about it. One of the biggest things that I learned in high school was when you're debating something, you research the opposite side. So that way you can better prepare yourself for a debate. It's not really I'm not saying that you need to prepare for a fight, but what I'm saying is if you've ever doubted how you were raised, the morals or values that you were raised with, look at the opposite side for a moment and, try to understand it. I know sometimes it's hard because if you've been raised in a certain environment for the majority of your life, it's really hard to believe any other way if you've never actually been able to open up your mind before. Anyways, define or redefine your purpose. If you have ever felt like you're incredibly lost, and you've never felt truly happy, it's time to define your purpose. It's time to find your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Just why? And then if you have defined your purpose before, but you still feel like you're just not fully gratified, then maybe it's time to redefine it. Why did you choose this path? Why should you keep going down this path? Is it worth it, basically? It's time to do that. And then finally, the last thing that you should do after all of that is making the decision that you're going to turn your limiting mindset into a liberating mindset. When are you going to stop thinking that your power is maxed? Nobody's potential is fully maxed. Nobody's perfect. And even whenever you reach your potential, my allergies. Even when you reach your full potential, it's not going to be this, it's still not going to be capped. Like, we all have endless possibilities and endless potential. But it's basically your chance to decide if you're going to be happy or not. But ultimately, in conclusion, this is how important that mindsets are. Mindsets are incredibly, incredibly important. Whenever you're trying to, change the way that you think. Whenever you want to be happy, if you're trying to be happy, I know how it feels to be stuck in such a stuck place. There's nowhere to go. You don't know what to do. You just kind of feel like giving up. Well, before you give up, you should always try to change the mindset. Try to change how you're thinking. Because if you're sitting here thinking that it's never going to end and that life is never going to get better, then you're just going to be stuck in this negative mindset where you can't go anywhere but down. And you're just going to dig yourself into a hole and you're never going to be able to crawl yourself back out. It's never too late, though. Never too late. Anyways, this was the third episode of Eradication Talk, and it was over mindset. And like I said before, if you haven't seen the other two episodes, I know because this is on my personal YouTube page and not the Eradication Talk page, but it hopefully will be on the Eradication Talk page soon. I don't know how YouTube Live works anymore. But yeah, you should definitely go check it out. Eradication Talk. I guess while I'm here, I'll go ahead and give you guys a little rundown of Eradication Wellness, because this is a website that I had been working on for a while. Excuse my inability to know how to do anything, so. Yeah. So here we are. We have eradicationwellness.com. This is just going to be a short little rundown. So we have the home page. I have it set up where these are the most recent posts of the Eradication Wellness Instagram, which I will show you guys how to follow that if you aren't already. Since this week was Mental Illness Awareness Week, I have been working on little posts for self-care. I normally do positive quotes, though. I normally post on it about one to two times a week, but this week, like I said, I've been posting daily. These are the latest blog posts. You can find the first two audio files of Eradication Talk right here. Last month was National Suicide Prevention Month, and then last week I did an article about dealing with low self-esteem and self-hate. Very interesting article. I definitely suggest reading it. And then if you scroll down further, then you have the Eradication Wellness Support Group. It's a virtual support group. I normally do it every Wednesday evening from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., but however, I do not do it unless people RSVP. That's the kicker. That's the link. You got some little rules, basically just judgment-free. And if you're interested in attending the virtual support group, all you got to do is fill this form out. You don't have to use your real name. You can use a username, screen name, whatever. first name, doesn't matter. Email, the only people that's going to be able to see this is me, and I swear to God, I'm not even going to use it for anything. Whether or not you're going to attend, and then if you want to add details, like a topic that you want me to bring up, or if you have a question, you can tell me that you want to be anonymous, or that you want your question to be anonymous or something, and I'll make sure not to call you out. And then you just got to send that, and then if you want to be reminded for the support group, then all you have to do is click the Google Calendar button, and yeah. So then we have helpful information, which is basically just all of the blogs. This is where you can find all of the blogs that I've done so far. And then we have resources, which basically just provides some helpful resources. We got SAMHSA, we got the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, we have the Crisis Text Line, Disaster Distress Hotline, NAMI. We have local resources. So far, all I have is something for Oklahoma. My therapist actually gave this resource to me to share with everybody in case they need it. If you have any suggestions on good resources, if you live in a specific area that you have some good resources and you want to help out, go ahead and use this contact tab here and fill out this information. Again, you don't have to use your real name. You can use a screen name or a username or even just your first name. Your email, the website, and or resource that you're wanting to suggest, and then in the message, just let me know some more information about it. While we're here, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Also, if you ever want to get in touch with me and you don't want to do this form, you can always just directly send me an email at eradicationwellness@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions, comments, concerns, anything. If you're interested in partnering up with me and spreading, facts about mental health, please let me know. I mean, I love to work with you. I do have a registered LLC, and so I would love to be able to partner up with somebody. You can use this little Instagram button here, and it's going to take you directly to the Eradication Wellness Instagram page, where you can follow me. Anyways, so we have this, we have the Eradication Support Group page. Is basically the same thing that's on the home page, just it has a tab all to itself. And then we have the About page, which is basically describing what Eradication Wellness is, why I made it. Basically, I speak like I already have a partner, but it's just me so far. So if you're interested, just let me know. And then there's a lovely picture of me, just who's created it so far. It's a little bit of a rundown of me, myself, and I, and yeah. And that's Eradication Wellness. This little logo here is actually my logo that I paid for, so I would like to make some merchandise if anyone's interested in that. But anyways, that's what we're doing. And that is all I have for today. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're listening, that's awesome. I don't know. But if you're interested in partnering up or anything, just please seek more information. You can send me an email. If you're interested in doing a podcast with me, you can send me an email at eradicationent@gmail.com. That's eradicationentertainment@gmail.com, but entertainment is shortened to ENT. Yeah,